Americans, we are better at basketball.
Period.
All right, it's what it is. We can keep trying to do this and pretending like, oh well, the last MVPs were from here. I don't care, bro. Like just on average and just in general, whatever, bro. We run this hoops
flat out.
That's a fact.
Like
simple. It's really simple as that, bro. I don't care what style of play. We run this hoops.
Yeah. This narrative of like the top 5 players, blah blah blah. It's damn near 1 million American players playing basketball, and the best players overseas are American. The best Olympic player.
I would say this in 30 years this will change, and I believe
I don't think so.
And I believe it will be Africa. I believe the growth of basketball in Africa is going to be so incredible. No.
Nah, them niggas get packed up in the United States. I ain't gonna lie, them niggas get packed up.
The talent,
I played a team full of them this summer.
The talent that is there, and the growth, and the NBA has registered this. They have realized that there is a lot of potential and a lot of kids who, if they were, properly trained at a young enough age, could be a lot better than some of these American kids. And I'm telling you, man.
Why? Why?
Well, do I need to explain to you the physics of basketball?
Go ahead, please do. Go ahead. I'm trying to figure out what the hell you talking about. How the hell they just gonna be better than us?
I was just at the
first of all, what's the population of Africa?
It don't matter.
As a continent. It does matter because this is a simple
30 years, Trey.
Actually,
within I'm saying 30 years.
I know, but think about where we were 30 years ago.
You don't even care about basketball. You don't even care about basketball.
No, I'm saying, but the pinpoint.
Y'all say Wemby. Hold on. Y'all say Wemby.
1.2 billion
from? Where are their parents from? Wemby is Congolese. He's partially Congolese. Giannis is partially he's completely Nigerian. So that you talking about instead
where KD parents from?
But
where Brown parents from?
Okay,
where's your parents from?
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam.
Everybody who you name.
You have to. Go ahead.
Everybody who you name from Wemby on, there was a period in their career where they had American development, regardless of what they was doing.
What American development did Wemby have?
Tim Martin. Tim Martin.
That's how. Thank you. Tim Martin went to France because I had, like I said, I had the scouting. Tim Martin went to France during that last season when he was with Levallois and away from, because Wemby didn't play in the EuroLeague his last year.
No, he didn't get in.
First league. That year, it was an American trainer with him the whole time getting him. So we don't have enough American trainers that can go to Africa to help Africa grow in the next 30 years.
But Trey, 30 years.
30 years.
But think about it. But just think about African people have been in the United States working. Joe Tuamu is an example. I'm sure you're familiar with him. Where he found Joel Embiid. He's found guys like he was running the NBA Africa Academy in Senegal. So what I'm saying is what these kids have grown through in Africa. I'm not talking about the kids who went to Europe or went to IMG or went to Montverde. I'm talking about the kids who actually came up in Africa, they developed in Africa, and then they went into the draft. Or they came over when they were 17 or 18, went to
them niggas panned out though.
Yeah, I was just about to say they had a lot of them that flopped.
Like a lot of them dudes be sorry, bro. Like it's just
and they be like 10 years older than what they say they is.
Consider the economic resources.
That's a fact, Jordan. Don't stand around pin.
But when we're talking about the economic resources that are extended to a good youth prospect at 13 or 14 years old, that when they're identified in the United States,
13, 14 or 18.
Well, no, I'm saying at 12, 13 in the United States, when you identify a really good, prospect that can jump the AAU circuit and be that great, player at the EYBL level, the number of resources that are poured into that player, from trainer to, training to the school and all that stuff, to the travel groups and all that stuff. I'm saying like that amount of infrastructure, if you could put that into Africa, you would develop like 150 NBA players from that.
But if we're talking about the market, we're talking about the NBA market, that won't happen. Like I hear the potential. I hear everything you're saying, but that just won't happen altogether because it's going to be oversaturated with over athletic players. Therefore, it's going to counter what people perceive as European basketball.
But look at the people
on top of that,
a
lot of them dudes are coming from Australia. A lot of them dudes are in Sydney. You know, it's a lot of South Sudanese players that are in Sydney, Australia, Melbourne, Australia. A lot of them are going to them academies.
That's a fact.
Too.
My homeboy Joe from Australia.
It's not like all these African dudes aren't just they're just not having nobody developing them. They're in a lot of them in Australia getting developed at a very young age as well. So the thing about it is we just better at this whole shit. Like I know you got this thing with the Africans and the Nigerians and all that, you know what I'm saying? But we better than them.
Okay, for now. And
they can't hoop like us.
Okay, what I will say is
they just not there. Them niggas better stick to soccer.
The birth rate argument here is very important because at some point a population does take over, and when you realize how much birth rates have dropped across the world in very many developing countries, you take third world countries, second world countries, and you start looking at their birth rate. At some point, the number of 14-year-olds in a particular country that matters when you're talking about who's going to the NBA and who can be developed. And at some point, the NBA is going to see the potential, right? And again, it's like you got to look at the demographics. You got to look at So it's a really long argument. But what I will say is 100%. I'm positive in 30 years. So within all of our lifetimes, expected lifetimes, you will see Africa make a major jump. And I'm not talking, a French prospect of African origins. I'm talking a player going straight from Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa. I'm talking like the hotbeds of basketball in Africa.
We've seen it. Yes. Pascal Siakam, Joel Embiid.
I mean, no, we haven't seen
Royal Ivy.
No. But listen, what he's going to say is he's going to say that Pascal went to New Mexico State and he got the development there. What I'm saying is Ulrich and Kaman, that's different because Ulrich jumped straight from the NBA Africa Academy to the NBA. Kaman will take 1 year at Duke, but he's also a product of Senegal, effectively, through the NBA Africa Academy. So it's getting closer and closer. When the money exists, and trust me, the opportunity exists, the money will come 100%. And then think about what that will do for Africa in terms of development, infrastructure, business. It will be huge.
I'm never going to take away from Africa's growth. You're right. One thing you're talking about, you're right about, is it will grow. And Swiper, you're right too. In the next 30 years, they will.
Well, just think about it. 30 years ago, the best international player was who in 1995?
No, but this is where I'm about to help you with this.
What's the bonus?
As we keep talking about the top 5 players are European, correct? But only one of them went through the complete European system, which was Joker. All the rest of them went through some form of American system. Now, let's take my old ass who could still hoop. What is the difference between me and any other foreigner? Is that I'm a killer. You have to go through an American system in order to become that. Now we can't, let's say, for example, analytic that, but all these from Shai to Giannis to Luka, they all had some form of American program, Wemby, that they went through in order to give them the turnaround. It might have took them a year. It might have took them a month. Now I'm in it. It might have took them whatever it may, but the only person who didn't go through that, who now is the best player in the NBA, is Joker. But Joker is an anomaly.
How many do you think we get? So in 30 years, because Luka obviously was already like best in the world Europe at 16, right?
But the transition for Luka though,
hang on, Arvydas Sabonis
it was a
had nothing American.
Work with him for about who got him ready for my man who played for Real Madrid now. He got him prepared. It was an American trainer. It's a guy named Mike Torres. So you got to be in it to know. Like even Giannis, he was in Atlanta for about 2 years before he actually really took off and he got on the weight.
Didn't he play like the second or third division in Greece or some shit like that?
Yeah. So
it wasn't good until you got them training.
Yeah. And then now with this whole NBA expansion, it's going. Real Madrid thinking about coming in Olympiacos.
But shouldn't that, because of people like you, Trey, and because of other people that are doing like a lot of great work globally, like for the sport, wouldn't, to me, Trey, from my perspective, that would actually incentivize other countries to develop even faster, because they're going to have farm schools that help them to get into like under NBA events, under 19, under 18, and all that stuff. But by the time we get 30 years from now, I mean, think about it, all the kids growing up now, they're going to be 30 or 25 and that aren't born yet. They're looking at Joker, they're looking at SGA, they're looking at Giannis, they're looking at Luka, they're looking at all Embiid, and they're saying, okay, well, these are my respective countries. These are the skills they develop. I'm going to apply those skills to what we're doing. And then by the time we get 30 years from now, I mean, there's a legitimate case that 20 and 30 years of the top 25 players, 15 of them could all be international.
But Swiper, they don't have the manpower though.
The part that you're missing out on is the NBA babies.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
All these NBA players' kids is catching up now. So that's why the even field, that's why the playing field's starting to spread. Because, like, let's say, for example, when Joker and all them came in, it wasn't the NBA kids. Now it's everybody's NBA kids kicking in. So imagine 30 years from now when all them NBA kids is
I don't know. I think baby Joker, girl and boy, might end up being, who knows?
Man, hell no. But she probably don't even play basketball. But like Trey, that's another thing. Like when I was in Turkey, like I don't even think they have like high school sports. They got like club shit in Turkey, like high school band. They do like club. They don't have the manpower. You got motherfuckers here playing basketball at 5 years old, like playing competitive basketball at 5 years old. They don't really give a damn about basketball that much outside of the players that are really
China
good
got more
at
people
it.
playing than anybody else in the world, though.
Yeah, but they just naturally suck, though.
I don't know if they get there.
But Swipe, but they actually
suck is crazy.
Naturally do. They do suck. Like, what's wrong with that? They naturally do suck.
I think that's crazy. That's a crazy statement. They got some skill
Bro,
players.
y'all always talking about some shit is crazy. Nigga, you go get you give me your best Chinaman. I'm gonna go get my best African American or American. I don't even gotta do African American.
Well, yeah, I know. My friend, he plays basketball and he went to China for school. He was so good they thought he was Kemba Walker. So like I get it.
Exactly.
There you
exactly.
go.
He's tough.
30
like,
years ago, Jordan.
That's my guy. He's tough.
Swiper in 30 years or 50 years.
Not no Kemba Walker, you know.
The progress is crazy. Somebody might break both 100 million, 100.
But look, hold on. The progress is different because you are saying it
that's
as
a one-off, though, Swiper.
No.
Yeah. People aren't going to beat him.
I think globally, by the time we get there, I'm not saying it's going to be that America's not going to be still the best basketball country. But I'm saying, Jordan, you are wild, by the way, dog. I had a Euro. No. I'm saying that by the time we get there, though, because of people like Trey and others stepping into that world.
Yeah.
I think
the only way it makes sense is if in 30 years it's a couple NBA teams in Africa.
But even still, though, like they just
that's
don't
not really
have
crazy, though.
Bro, they don't really have.
It's gonna take too long for Africa. They gotta go.
That'll be definitely way too hard to like to schedule it out in the NBA. Having a team that's overseas.
Yeah, that shit would be hell. But they don't even have the focus. You got to think. We got kids here that are 7 years old that think they going to the NBA. Like, oh, I'm playing the NBA. Like, I'm a hooper, man. Knowing they ain't no hoopers. Number one, but we just got so many of them that think like that. Even in 30 years, I don't think they gonna have the focus on sports like American kids have focus on sports.
I agree with that. Though.
Why?
Because their life is totally different from ours.
Climate change. That's it. That's what we
because their life is different from ours. Yes, like we worry about dumb shit here.
This is the worst episode you've had and the best episode you've ever had, by the way.
Oh, whatever.
Yo, I gotta get back to the super chat.
Jordan's not lying though. Like the way of life is different, right? So like I'll use the Dominican Republic as an example. Like when it comes to like doing your own like work in the house and everything, there's a bunch of kids that don't know how to do their own work in the house. But when you grow up in a place like the Dominican Republic, you got to know how to, fix the house or put a patch a hole in the wall, do your own laundry. Some people don't even know how to do their own laundry and everything. So like they just have a lot more things that they have to worry about other than a lot of kids, in America. They just
all I know.
I train kids. These niggas don't even tie their shoes. Like I train a bunch of kids. They dad tie their shoes before they train.
Jordan, how many
like,
teenagers?
That's crazy.
How many teenagers know how to change a tire?
None of these niggas know how to change a tire. All the kids I train, none of them do. I'm not even, bro. I know I just be joking a lot of times. Swiper, stop playing. Bro, I know I just be joking a lot of times, but I'm dead ass serious when I say I've trained 9-year-old kids, they dad tie their shoes before they get on the court. You have no business playing basketball, you don't know how to tie your shoes. But that's the focus. I'm a hooper. I'm a hooper. I can't tie my shoes. I can't even put my clothes on, but I'm a hooper.
So basically what he's saying is that the incentive for Americans is more than the rest of the world.
No, it's not. I mean, I don't know if y'all caught the graduation quote by Aaron McKee, but he was quoting something else. He said, "Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times." Right. So when you look at it, when you look at a country like Serbia, you look at countries like that experience the hardships. What do you think that made people do? That made them work harder.
Yeah,
Jordan's saying that about a certain demographic of kids. If you got a kid that can pay that much money for a training session, you know what I'm saying? Typically, that kid is doing a little more well off. It's a different demographic. We're not speaking for all the kids in America. It's a lot of kids in America that are taking care of business, that know how to change a tire. You know what I'm saying? That know how to do shit. That came. You know how to change a tire? A lot. It is definitely a lot, bro. Like there's so many people in America. Y'all really doing this bad right now. And every kid ain't not tying their shoe.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, let me tie your shoe. No, like it's a case by case. It's a case by case basis, bro. It's a case by case basis.
If you
like on top of that, because my program, I'm in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So the kids down there, it's the same way. Some kids down there go to private school. They don't know how to do shit. You know what I'm saying? And then some kids, or some kids, their moms is bringing, carrying their stuff for them, doing the thing. It's just like America, just like down there. It's a case by case basis.
Ox, we're not talking about outliers. We're talking about averages. Okay, the average.
And like I said, it's a case by case basis, bro.
Okay,
I got kids, and I don't tie my kids' shoe.
Okay,
that's how the
one question. I will ask you
doing a good job.
I'll ask you the most important question. Okay, you're running a company. You got to hire a 16-year-old, an average 16-year-old from any country in the world. Is America on the top 10 of that list?
Depends on what they're doing. What we doing?
Yeah, what's that mean?
Change the tire.
Yeah, but
I know.
When I was 16,
I know plenty of competent 16-year-olds.
I ain't gonna lie.
I know
if we
change
the tires,
I'm
going down south. I'm not lying.
Y'all need to be around.
We're down south.
Different people. When I
was 16, I was 100% locked in.
If your kids and your nieces and nephews,
I'm just saying I wasn't working. I was playing sports all day. But I'm saying it just depends on where you are. Yeah.
Well, right. But look though, Swiper, what I'm saying though is if because most of the kids you're gonna be around that it's usually like kids in your family and stuff, right? Like what you know what I'm saying? So if your nieces and nephews and kids friends don't know how to do that shit, then you as an adult ought to be ashamed of yourself for not teaching that kid the proper way. That's what we here for. That's what we here for. If we got some soft ass kids, that's to be some punk ass adult. That's your
the Ox's point though, like
when
we were coming up,
the kids that you be around, you need to teach better.
If we didn't have if people like me and some other people, if we didn't make it on sports, we wasn't going to college. Like there was no other route. So it was a hunger for a lot of us. It was
I disagree with that though. You go to college without playing sports.
No. Hold on. I'm not talking about them.
Yeah, but that shit's expensive though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all, they did that. That wasn't for me. That wasn't the case for me. I wasn't going nowhere. I'm saying me. I wasn't going nowhere. I wouldn't have the degree. I wouldn't have a master's degree if I didn't play college. That wasn't happening. Like it wasn't happening. There was no route for that. That's all I'm saying. Is that like there are other kids? There are other kids that have that. You figure it out another way. Like you know, whether it's you want to be a technician, you want to be a rapper, whatever. I'm saying for me and for mine, I was the only one of my friend group from when we was kids to make it to college. Because I happen to be damn good at football. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's a different type of hunger.
So based on what you're saying, right now,
I got you.
Based on the energy that you're giving, based on the scholarship shit,
right?
The rest of the world don't have that,
right? But I will say, and there are other places around the world like you, because you've been around a lot more than I have, where they do got kids getting out the mud.
So but what I'm saying is getting out the mud is different because like at the end of the day for us, especially as African Americans, it's a glass window. For them, it's a wall. So they're not gonna work. They're not gonna work hard towards something they can't see. Period. We gonna work.
But I'm saying, but don't you think?
And Trey, we might not even see them niggas. Like they might be working hard. We might not even see them.
But listen real quick. If you got a wall, you don't even know what's on the other side. So what you gonna work hard for?
But what's the wall now, Trey? Everybody can watch the games now, and they got people from the country that's doing
I'm with you, but it's still overseas. It still feel hella impossible. Like, but for an American kid, the reason why kids can't tie up their shoe or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because it's glass. You can see it right there, like it's right in front of you, and that it'll never be in front of an African kid, no matter how many times.
I don't say never.
Unless
they move.
This is why I said something ultra specific. If it's an NBA team in Africa, because now all those resources go to Africa, and it's going to be right in front of them kids' faces.
I mean, but that's what television, Trey. Like a lot of these kids said they saw like Braun and Kobe and them on TV, or like and then that's what did it for them. Social media, that's what did it for them. Like, and you know, I'll speak to this. I know for
seeing isn't enough though. Swipe.
No, I know, but I know for a fact there are kids in places that don't have like running water, but they got cell phone. Because I know for a fact.
But they're not thinking about.
But hold on. I'm saying they're watching Jordan, they're watching Trey, they're watching the drills that y'all are doing on social media, and they're literally trying to do it the best they can where they are until they make it to the next place. And I'm saying, like, that's why I think the world is going to continue to catch up.
But Swiper, what if they don't have a high school team though? Swiper, what if they don't have a high school team to do it on?
Let's talk about the Toronto Raptors. Look how Toronto basketball, once y'all got a team, it just turned up. But before that, y'all didn't.
It's a lot of Toronto NBA players.
But hang on.
But Trey, I think my bad, Pen. I'm in right here.
Yeah,
I think what did it though, another linchpin and great, because y'all know I want everybody eating the world. Y'all know how I am. When that team, when they went to the Olympics this last year and they showed up versus the Team USA and they lost, they had never had a country perform. They had never ever performed at the Olympic level. And they put up a great performance like they did with a limited budget like they did. I guarantee you, because of that performance, 20 years from now, they're going to have so many kids that are either playing
What's so many?
I mean, 100. I'll say 100. They'll have hundreds of kids competing.
I'm with you. But what I'm saying is, even with this NBA expansion to Europe, they're doing it, I believe, in all these NBA schools. They're doing it so people can see the NBA right in front of them and actually believe in the dream. Now, if that's the case, everything y'all talking about is real. Like if you put a team in Senegal, you put a team in Nigeria, you put a team in South Africa, now these kids get to, because they're going to be obligated to do camps, do the whole nine. Now these kids get to see the possibility and the reality of it all, which leads to college, which leads to high school. But if you ain't got it in front of your face and you're looking at a wall and you just seeing niggas on TV, then how much can you?
But guess what? But you know, but then on the downside, go ahead, Pen. I cut you off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, it's very important to realize that yes, the Toronto Raptors have been a part of the growth of Canada basketball, but that's a totally different equation because basketball wasn't a big deal in Canada before the Raptors. Like they literally had to take out full page ads explaining the rules to people here. I'm not saying like no one knew the rules. I'm saying like it was not a culturally embraced sport in Canada. That's not the case for countries, certain countries in Europe that don't have NBA teams right now. They have teams. They have a basketball identity. Lithuania does not need to be taught how to play basketball. And Lithuanians do not make examples of Lithuanians making it to the NBA. They have plenty of examples. And to the point of Africa specifically, you know, you saying like, oh, they need an African, NBA team to come to Africa for them to make it real. Well, just imagine how you feel as, a Cameroonian kid seeing Joel Embiid be the league MVP. Like, that's real. It just became real right there.
But that's not enough because the percentages are already too low. Like we saying, like them seeing that is like it guarantees something. The percentages are already low as it is.
I don't know if y'all read the book, The Talent Code, but basically, like the whole notion of this is all you need to do is see somebody that you can identify doing it for you to realize it's possible. Okay, like for me growing up, we didn't have money, so I saw a kid who looked like me, who was in my neighborhood, and he started working. So I was like, all right, that's a pass for me. I can do that. You know what I mean? Like if he's doing it, I can do it. So for kids in Africa, like Hakeem Olajuwon coming up, Hakeem Olajuwon did not grow up with basketball around him.
He didn't even come here and play basketball. He was playing soccer, and then somebody tricked his ass into playing basketball.
I think it was Hakeem was, I think it was handball and volleyball. But the point is, like, he viewed basketball as like an afterthought to what he was initially coming up with. Now, imagine if Hakeem Olajuwon, at the age of 5 years old, had seen a player like Joel Embiid, right, winning MVP, and be like, oh, that's a dream. That's a possibility for me. You know, so that's all I'm saying. Like
yeah,
I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. This is why because the key thing that you said was averages. It takes more to even out the averages. Now, if you're talking about individual anomalies, it's gonna happen that way, one way or another, based on probability. But if you're talking about averages, even in 30 years, it has to be an NBA team being there to raise the averages, not the anomalies.
I don't think they need a team, no, Trey. I really don't. I
really
don't.
In order for them to catch up, they probably do.
Okay, so why did Shy turn up?
This is why I said it in the chat. I really truly believe this, bro. I really truly believe that globalism and sports is sports is the vehicle of the world that connects the world. And I think because of American exceptionalism being as arrogant as it is as a part of it, we will continue to infiltrate every other country and continent. And because of that, basketball is going to be there. Because of that, there are going to be more gyms, more trainers, more opportunity, because that's where the money is. I personally think that literally 15 years from now, Trey, the NBA will come to you like, we're gonna give you $100 million. We need to get you the 30 best trainers you know about. We're going to place them all across the world because we realize that there's incentive for us within building a democracy to have more basketball courts located in these countries. Because, you know, the same unit of measurement is pickleball courts in suburban communities. When they take out basketball hoops and they put in pickleball courts, you raise the value of the community because there are certain type of people that want to live there. I think it's the same thing to be applied to the rest of the world with putting basketball courts in all of these different places. And again, like what's the old boy Jordan Clarkson in the Filipinos? Built a whole court there, and now because of it, there's literally hundreds of kids that play on that court every single day that never had access to that.
Again, the point that you're making is very right. But number one, we talking about averages. Number two, we talking about incentives. Mind you, I'm one of the NBA directors of Europe. The big reason why we built all these schools is happening in Europe is because it's being incentivized by the possibility of NBA teams being in Europe. So that's going to force trainers amongst the industry to go to Europe in order to make these kids better. Because like you said, the market is there. So until there's an actual market in Africa, like away from just basketball itself, that will require a team being there or the prospect.
As soon as Embiid and Pascal go back, here's $3 million to build up over here. It's wraps. I'm not saying they're going to just dominate America, but it's going to be
willing to not everybody is going to do that. But
for example, Shy, why did he turn up? It's because of the Raptors. Who he is.
He says it was a really big part of him growing up.
Who?
Shea has absolutely said that the Raptors were a huge part of him growing up.
Jamal Murray, talk about Vince Carter and all them. Yeah,
it's the Raptors. Like, so we can talk about blah blah blah, but you got Vince Carter in your.
I think these are two different arguments. I think
that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, like look, I'm saying Africa can make it without an NBA team, but if they get an NBA team, it'll accelerate it a lot.
That's
like there's already a fire. Adding an NBA team would add like petroleum to that fire and make it run
because the BAL ain't enough.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm the right person to say this, but at some point it doesn't really matter how many people are interested in basketball. It doesn't really matter how many people play basketball in your country, because Lord knows there's a lot of Chinese people who play basketball and there ain't a lot of Chinese NBA players.
There you go.
But hey, what do you need to be a good basketball player? You need some height, you need some long arms, you need some coordination, you need some hops, you need some speed. I mean, you talk
Just
about
say it, Penn.
But I ain't got
you need some what?
Some melanin? What the hell, wrong?
I wasn't about to say that.
I don't think some melanin is crazy.
No, I was gonna say you need some work.
Respect.
No, okay,
you don't need that. You don't need
that. That was nasty, Ron.
What I'm definitely saying is that it helps to have a taller country. It definitely helps to have, a country where, people have a little bit of that wingspan and bigger hands. So yeah, if you have like Masai Ujiri, I mean, has been a huge part of the Toronto Raptors organization. He's always talking about, he's like, there's Giannis is walking over on Africa, and I always say cap. There's not like 6 Giannis's walking around Africa, but if you're talking about what happens to a country when development happens, the first thing that happens is people get taller and people get healthier. When you start pushing money into a country and you start putting protein into a country and people start to eat better, you got to realize, man, that's what I'm saying earlier. Like, you don't realize how many of these African prospects are coming up like through the trenches. Like, they're coming up with less money, less food, less nutrition, less trainers, less everything. When you start giving a country that is already naturally predisposed to being taller, you give them the same tools that Americans have, watch out.